Carragher just exposed something massive about Liverpool, and honestly, it explains everything about the chaos this season. He didn't blame Slot, he didn't blame injuries, he blamed the squad itself. The structure, the balance, the way these players even fit together. He basically said the team doesn't make sense. So let's break down each moment where he drops these bombs, and I'll react.
Well, Jamie Carragher is with us. Plenty of his analysis on the way, but we're going to start at the London Stadium. Been a difficult season so far for Liverpool. They travelled to West Ham, and it was watched by Rob Green and Rob Hawthorne. Well, the story is obviously Liverpool after that win, and just on the bigger picture, it's kind of sighs of relief all round, isn't it, first of all?
It is, because I think this week coming into it, there was 3 games against opposition who Liverpool would expect in normal circumstances to get 9 points out of 9. I think every game there was a feeling of maybe trepidation from Liverpool supporters, and maybe even, the coaching staff and players as well going into it, because confidence is really low. But I felt West Ham away was the toughest one. And in some ways, they've won that with ease. West Ham were really poor today, so that should bode well for the next week in terms of Liverpool going on to get those maximum points. And if they do, the picture looks completely different, and everyone will say, what was the problem? They're in.
Classic pundit move. Pretend nothing's wrong because the opponent played like a Sunday League team. This is like saying you're back because you beat a broken team. Carragher knows the real problem isn't West Ham. He's warming up for the argument he'll hit later, the squad problems.
The Champions League positions, and a lot to fight for in the second half of the season.
So a clean sheet for them today, and that's been difficult to come by recently. Mo Salah was left on the bench. Florian Wirtz started, and even at half-time, after we'd watched the first half, you were saying it's his best game for Liverpool in the Premier League.
Without a doubt. And I'm just going to look at some of the 3 or 4 clips, and we highlighted this on Monday Night Football early in the season. Now, what is the position he likes to pick the ball up in? And that position is there. Now, it's not just between the lines. It's in the inside left position. That's, as I said, where he was at his absolute best playing for Bayer Leverkusen. And he's in that position. And what's interesting, you think the setup, you mentioned that there was no Mo Salah today. But Szoboszlai, we said, played on the right wing, but we know he likes to play in the inside right position as well. So he's in that position, and it's actually Joe Gomez providing the width on that right side. So that gets Szoboszlai in his best position and Florian Wirtz in his best position. But let's just look at Wirtz. Just keep an eye on him. And watch how often he's scanning. Look, one look over his shoulder. If you want to be a top player between the lines, scanning is massively important. 3 times he's looked over his shoulder now. Still hasn't received the ball. Again, as another little look. So 4 times we're there, and he now gets the ball in the position where he's at his absolute best for Bayer Leverkusen in the past and for Germany.
And here's the catch. Wirtz looks good only when he's put in his perfect little comfort spot. That's not how Premier League football works, bro. You can't build a whole team around one guy's favorite pocket of grass. Carragher knows this, and later he basically admits the squad wasn't built with balance in mind.
Where is he now? So he's deeper now. Liverpool are defending, and we just pick him up here, coming back, doing his defensive duties. But what he did brilliantly today, even in his own half, he was brilliant in terms of retaining possession. So a really clever ball, 1-2, and then he bursts forward, gets ahead of the West Ham defender, and then we're back playing again. Now, where does he want to be? Again, he scans before you know it, and then he is here, between the lines. Okay, so he's not on the left. This time he finds himself on the right, but he's in that position now. Again, looks over his shoulder. Then he's got a pass to pull off. We've just seen him with the left foot on one side. This time, very unlucky again. Great pass into Gakpo, just gets cut out. Now, he gets a little bit of luck here because he loses the ball, as he has done quite a few times in the Premier League. But because Liverpool regain it and win it back quickly, because the midfield players are on the second ball, it sustains the attack. And where do we find him? Again, in that position, in this inside left position. So he picks the ball now up on this side, goes past the player, and can he deliver the pass? Yes, he can, into Gakpo, and maybe doesn't quite sort his feet out. We mentioned at the first clip that setup of Liverpool. Again, finds himself the inside left. Should he score? Yes, he should. Could he have got an assist today? Of course he could. But that was, for me, maybe the start and maybe some signs going forward that Liverpool know they've got a good player. It's just whether he can transfer what he did in Germany to the Premier League. I think that was the first sign of seeing not just a player, let's not forget, just a player for Liverpool. I said when Florian Wirtz came in, I almost seen him as a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne in terms of the Premier League. You know, getting on the ball, causing problems for the opposition. You'd actually look at his passes here against West Ham. Didn't lose possession, often very clever with the ball, but he had penetrating passes, 42 out of 45. Now that's a lot for a player who's supposed to sort of make big passes, key passes to try and put people in. So at times you take chances. But when you look at his season comparison here, you can see the big shift there in the numbers.
Been a bit deeper and starting from deep, drifted over to the left. There was a bit more of a freedom for him today. Would that be fair?
This is where Carragher starts carefully tiptoeing. He knows saying it directly will blow up, so he dances around it. Wirtz playing well pushes Szoboszlai out of position. Isak scoring creates a problem with Ekitike. Leaving Salah out forces Gomez to play like a winger. This is the setup to his big bomb.
Yeah, but I think it's more about getting him in his role where he's best suited. Now, we can talk about the knock-on effects with other players there, because I don't think when you think about the makeup of the squad, it's probably not really that well balanced.
There it is. This is the headline moment of the entire clip. Carragher literally says the squad is not right, not balanced, and basically not built logically. This is nuclear-level criticism, not of Slot, but of Liverpool's recruitment and long-term planning. This is what nobody else wants to talk about. You can replace managers, rotate lineups, tweak tactics, but if your squad is built wrong, nothing fixes that. And Carragher knows it.
But we've spoken about Florian Wirtz being a number 10, but predominantly he likes the inside left channel. I mentioned Kevin De Bruyne before. When you think of Kevin De Bruyne, where do you think of him? You think of the inside right position. Yeah. You always picture him on the ball in that position. That's where Florian Wirtz needs to play. At times, I actually thought he was going to play wide right today and then come in from the side, as he has done in a few games when he's replaced Mo Salah on that right. But this was better. This is exactly where they want him on the pitch, and this is where, as I said, he's at his best, and that's why today was his best Liverpool performance by far. He's had other good performances, but mainly in Europe. In the Premier League, that was the best we've seen so far.
And it was also a good day for Alexander Isak, in the sense that he got his Premier League account up and running for Liverpool.
Yeah. And what we're looking at here is, if we can get it up.
I would argue that Florian Wirtz was more consistent than the touchscreen, really.
Exactly.
Today. Let's see if it works here.
So, what I would say is what's happened here has never happened before under Arne Slot when he's Liverpool manager. I don't think Arne Slot has ever asked his right back to go to left wing to take a long throw.
Have you become a bigger fan of long throws today?
I mean, throughout this season, I've been very unhappy with long throws. Today, I've changed my tune a little bit. But we've seen this a lot. And again, I think what it shows is, even for a team like Liverpool, who are the champions, when you see everybody else doing something, you think, well, why aren't we doing it? Arne Slot's never done that before. But maybe the way the Premier League's gone, he's thought, well, OK, everyone else is doing it, I'm going to do it. Now, I just want to look at the position initially of Isak. So he's there, he's in there, not up against defenders, don't forget. So Liverpool have brought the centre-backs up. So they're getting looked after by the West Ham defenders. Let's not forget as well that every West Ham player is back in the box.
Yeah.
This is something to remember as well. So Isak's not up against the defender, he's almost free, he's not going to go for the first ball. He then turns, they clear it out West Ham, and it comes to the edge of the box.
So it comes to Wirtz.
Yeah, it comes to Wirtz, he does really well. There. But I just want to slow it down now. And as this ball comes into Isak, as he's about to get something on it, and we've just mentioned that every West Ham player is back. I think Nuno, looking back at this goal and considering I've got all 11 men basically back in the box beside Bowen on the edge. If you'd have said to him, the space in there for Alexander Isak would be like that. Let's just forget this, honest to God.
There was meant to be a square there, so I get that, right.
Yeah. So to allow that much space when you've got 11 men back behind the ball, he'll be really upset with that, of course. But again, we go back to Wirtz here, manipulating the ball, finds a clever pass into Gakpo. Gakpo, to be fair, his pass is just putting it into an...
Hopeful.
Yes, but the finish from Isak is top draw in terms of the actual connection with the ball, and that's the only place he could find that bottom corner.
So it's all positive, isn't it? And they go and play Liverpool. Liverpool play Sunderland on Wednesday. They go to Leeds on Saturday. But even pre-match, with leaving Salah on the bench, the questions are to Slot. Who are you leaving? Why are you leaving them out? And because of the nature of this squad, those questions are going to be consistently asked, aren't they? Yeah.
Now, the makeup of the squad is not right, really. And the best way to explain that is we're all delighted tonight from a Liverpool point of view in that, OK, Florian Wirtz looks like the Florian Wirtz we expect. OK, he's cost a lot of money. He looks the real deal. He's in his position now. Isak's got his first goal. OK, that's Isak up and running now. But you think of the knock-on effect of that. How does Florian Wirtz affect Dominic Szoboszlai, who's been Liverpool's best player this season?
Because at times he was pushed out.
Exactly. And then you've got the situation where Isak scored, he's up and running. But how does that affect Ekitike, who's been Liverpool's best signing this season? So again, you go back to the makeup of the squad. And Liverpool, by leaving out Mo Salah today, didn't really necessarily play with a real right winger. Now, again, that's fine. Liverpool did really well. You get Szoboszlai inside. But it's not perfect for Joe Gomez going forward. Do you understand? So there's a knock.
This is the ripple effect Carragher is describing. One decision breaks 3 other positions. That's the definition of a flawed build. Slot can't play his system because the squad isn't shaped for any system. It's patched together with expensive names that overlap roles, contradict styles, and force square pegs into round holes. Carragher didn't mean to roast Liverpool's transfer strategy this hard, but he did.
Knock-on effect with certain players playing well and what it does to other people. But right now, that'll be the last thing on the manager's mind. He'll just be relieved that he's got 3 points, and Liverpool in a really good position now to go on and get 9 points out of 9 this week.
Right. Should we turn this on and turn it off again?
Yeah, we'll have a go. Just turn it... You know what we do at home with the Sky?
Yeah.
Just turn it off at the back and turn it back on. It always works.
Right, I'll try and find the plug. Whilst I do that...